Mr. President, last week I came to the floor to talk about why we needed to pass the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. I'm proud to say that the Senate has passed that bill. I expect the Senate to move to conference with the House this week, and I'm confident that the final bill will be an even better bill than the bill passed by either the House or Senate. But more importantly, I'm confident that it'll get us on track for real tax relief for working families, and we'll have this bill on the President's desk by the end of this year. Last week when the bill passed, I said it wasn't just about changing the trajectory of our economy, it's about changing the future we hand to our kids and our grandkids. I really think, Mr. President, that's what this bill will do. Lots of talk in Washington about things that, frankly, will never turn out to be the facts that we're hearing. Maybe they're the alternative facts. But one thing I think will happen is that working families will see in one of their first paychecks next year that this tax bill, these tax cuts, really affect them. Whatever your paycheck is that reflects what you start getting paid on January 1, in virtually every case, working families are going to have more take-home pay, and those numbers are pretty big. A few weeks ago, I was at Patriot Machine in St. Charles, Missouri, and spoke to the employees who work there. And the one thing they were concerned about was, what does this mean to me? What does it mean to my family? What is my take-home pay going to look like next year? And Mr. President, you and I have said many times during this debate, the two things here that we're committed to do is more take-home pay immediately by taking less out of it, and even more take-home pay in the future by doing things that make our economy more competitive and have that paycheck bigger to start with. Middle-class families, working-class families in this country have lost a lot of ground with the slow growth we've had and the no growth in almost some years we've had in the past 10 years. We need better jobs, we need higher wages, and we need the government to let people take home more of what they earn. This bill will allow them to do that. It will double the standard deduction, and that's the deduction that now is about $6,000. Suddenly it's $12,000. For a couple, it's $24,000, and you start the tax process on something the size of a postcard. You start that process by deducting that $12,000 or that $24,000 off what your W-2 forms say. Senate bill doubles the child tax credit, so we go from $1,000 to another $1,000, and you take that credit off your tax obligation. 90% of people are going to fill out their taxes just that way. A form that you may not even have to turn over to sign the bottom and say, here's what you need to send me back, or here's what my tax obligation was. Helping families has been and continues to be at the heart of what this whole debate should be about. At one end, more take-home pay. At another end, more competition that allows us to have better jobs to start with. I am absolutely convinced that the United States of America, with more money on the sidelines right now than ever before in the history of the country, and more money overseas because of our barriers to bringing money back, because our tax code didn't really anticipate international competition in the way that it's developed, more money that wants to come back than ever before. Those things are going to make a difference. The security that our country has, the access to the world marketplace that is, we couldn't be better located to compete all over the world than we are. And those things, along with what's happened in the effort to stop the regulatory overreach, the effort to put people on judicial benches that are going to rule based on what the law says. Now this tax bill on top of that, with capital coming in to our economy, it's going to make a big difference. And it'll help Main Street businesses that want to reinvest, that want to innovate, that want to expand, that want to create jobs. That's going to happen in this bill. This bill came through the regular order process. It came through a committee that knew how to defend it. Every senator had the opportunity to offer any amendment they wanted to offer to improve the final product. American families have been stuck now with a broken tax code for the last couple of decades, and that's going to end when the president signs this bill into law. We shouldn't have to wait any longer. We need to get this done this year, and we can.